Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And yes, I'm wearing a very, very special shirt today. Trump, drain the swamp. And we have to not only drain the swamp in the United States of America, we have to drain the swamp all over the world. And in America, if you are in America, please guys, you've got to go out and vote tomorrow, on Tuesday, and you've got to vote for Trump. We've got to get rid of this menace called the Democrats. Anyway, let's get back to South Africa, shall we? All right, now, the economic freedom fighters. Yep, that terrorist gang of that hired under the name of a political party. Parliament has called on stakeholders and interested parties to submit written submissions on the South African Reserve Bank Amendment Bill. Introduced by the EFF as a private member's bill, the draft legislation proposes that all of the bank's stakeholders are appointed by the government and are not private. In an explanation of the bill in August, the EFF's Deputy President, Floyd Shivambu, said that the current South African Reserve Bank Act allowed a private individual, including foreigners, to own shares of the South African shareholders based on the share capital of the bank. Now, you got to understand that this is part of the strategy of the New World Order. They want to destroy everything. And if you put this Reserve Bank into the hands of political parties like the Economic Freedom Fighters, well, you saw what the EFF did to the VBS Mutual Bank, didn't you? And one of the great benefactors of that theft or destruction of the VBS Mutual Bank was the same Floyd Shivambu. This guy is a criminal, he's a crook, and now he's trying to have the Reserve Bank taken out of its current format and put in the hands of the crooks. Quite extraordinary. You watch the Rand just go, if this happens. Believe me, that's what's going to happen. Anyway, let's continue. Floyd Shivambu said, the private shareholders, through acquired shares in terms of the South African Reserve Bank Act, have some role to play in the governance of the South African Reserve Bank, including the election of the directors, and receive dividends from the bank's profits. And I have to tell you guys, when they talk about receiving dividends, it's a tiny, tiny amount. We aren't talking about millions or billions of dollars. We're talking about literally hundreds of rands. It's like a token payment to the shareholders. It's and you can check that out. Anyway, let's continue. Shivambu said the draft bill will 1. Make the state the sole shareholder of the South African Reserve Bank. 2. Provide for the appointment of the board of directors, the tenure of the office of the appointed directors, and give the minister the power to make regulations related to the appointment of appointed directors. And finally, give the Minister of Finance the power to appoint auditors of the bank. Well, we know how that went down with the VBS Mutual, don't we? The ANC has also indicated that it wants to nationalize the central bank, but the plan has been put on the back burner as government grapples to get the coronavirus-stricken economy back on track. Well, let's face it, the economic freedom fighters are literally the military arm or the terrorist arm of the ANC. Nothing more, nothing less. The ruling decided at a conference in 2017 that the state should take ownership of the South African Reserve Bank, one of a handful of central banks owned by private investors because the prevailing ownership structure infringed on the nation's sovereignty. The country doesn't have the massive resources that may be needed to buy out the bank's private shareholders, and spending the money would be unjustified in the current climate, said Paul Mashotti, the Treasurer General of the African National Congress. He said, "We would not want to rush to go into that direction because there are other implications." He said this in an interview with Bloomberg. "Our view is that we want those resources to be channeled rather to infrastructure projects." Now, we have to understand that these changes being proposed by the EFF and the ANC for the South African Reserve Bank are not their brilliance or their genius. These changes are being pushed by forces behind the scenes, including people like Open Society Foundation, who are behind many of the actual changes that are taking place and the laws that have been passed by the South African Parliament. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.